today we are baking something that is really cool and it's a family favourite, and I know that it will be one of yours. So today we are going to make donuts. Now there's many different ways that you can make donuts, and I've had a little look and I wanted to make sure that it was the safest way to make them at home, because a lot of them require you to use oil and a deep pan. However, I looked at baking them, but I didn't have a donut pan. So I've now gone back to the frying idea, but I'm going to use a shallow frying pan, okay? And this basically is going to limit the amount of spit that we have coming out of it, okay? So please make sure you do this with an adult and make sure that you are dressed appropriately. So with an apron, or maybe have your arms covered as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, just to get it out of the way, I'm going to fill my frying pan with about 4 inches worth of oil. So once I've filled my pan with about 4 inches of oil, that's quite a lot of the litre, so probably about 3/4 of a litre. I'm just going to leave it there, and that's going to wait until we need to turn it on, and I will tell you when you need to do that. So it's time to weigh out those ingredients. Okay, so as you can see, I've melted my butter and I've got all my ingredients set ready for me. I've also need to have some baking powder, some bicarbonate of soda, some table salt, some cinnamon, and some nutmeg or mixed spice if you wanted to add that in, but it's not necessary. The reason that we're using both bicarbonate of soda and baking powder is because I don't have any yeast, so this is a yeast-free recipe. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to, in a medium-sized bowl, combine the flour, sugar, baking powder, bicarbonate of soda, salt, spices, and then we're going to set that aside. So in we go with the flour, with the sugar. We're going to do 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of mixed spice. In that goes. And then we're going to put in our baking powder and baking soda. A separate bowl, we are going to combine the melted butter, milk and eggs. Butter, eggs and milk. And we're going to whisk that together. Okay, so once you whisk that together, we're now going to slowly add in the dry ingredients, and we're going to keep using that whisk to combine them together. So once you've got to that really sticky mixture and it's really hard to get that whisker, I'm actually going to swap over to a kind of spatula, and I'm just going to combine and fold in the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so once you've got a dough that's looking a bit like this, you're going to transfer it to a silicone base or to a lightly floured surface, and you're going to bring the rest of the ingredients together using your hands. Okay, so when you've got your dough looking nice and together, you're going to use the palms of your hands to press the dough into a roughly 12-inch rectangle. Okay, and it wants to be about half a an inch thick as well. Okay, so when we've got our dough ready into that rectangle, before we cut, we're going to put on our oil on a medium heat just to start heating up. That should take about 5 minutes. So now you need to get your cutter. I'm going to use you kind of want a 3-inch circle, but you also then need a smaller circle to cut out the middle. So if you haven't got a 1-inch cut, you can use a lid of something. I'm actually going to use the end of a piping bag, and I'm going to put that in as it looks like it was kind of the right size for the hole in there. So as I was making them, I was transferring them over to a wired rack. So I have popped in a little bit of dough to my oil, and it looks like it's ready to go. Taking them out of the oil and they've cooled enough for you to touch, you can cover them in sugar and enjoy. So I've got a confession. I didn't read the instructions properly, and instead of putting in the correct amount of baking powder, I think I pretty much times it by 10. So instead of having these lovely delicate donuts, I got these massive doughy donuts, which, don't get me wrong, taste nice, but do not look anything like I wanted them or thought they would look like. So I thought I would come clean and learn a lesson that I need to read instructions properly. I will have another go at these, and maybe not this week, and post a picture just to let you know that I did learn from my mistakes. It's really important when you make a mistake, don't give up, do it again, and I'm sure the results will be better. So let me just show you what I ended up with. So yep, that's my finished donut. I ended up having to break apart my donuts because they were just so thick. So this is an example of one of them. It's so thick. Can you see that it's just not fluffy in the middle? It's because it's not cooked properly. So these ones are half of what they were. So they probably are just all crisp now and sugar. But yeah, we live and learn. So enjoy your baking. I hope that you have better results than me. I'll post the link to the recipe in the comment section below. So take a little look, and I'll be back next Monday, hopefully with a more successful bake. Fingers crossed.